Morning, fifth graders. Today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions using your fraction circle pieces and writing the answers with symbols. So our learning objective is I will learn how to use fraction circles and symbols to add and subtract fractions so that I can understand how to add and subtract fractions. Here I have a question for you about finding a fraction that is between 4/5 and 1. On the left side here, I have a picture of 4/5. That means it is split into 5 equal parts, and I have colored in 4 of them. On the right side, I can see that the amount that is not colored in, that black amount, is right here, is smaller on the right than on the left picture. So that tells me that the fraction on the right is bigger than 4/5, but it isn't quite one whole unit yet. And I can find the fraction for that by counting up the number of pieces. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would make 10. Since there are 10 total pieces, I put 10 on the bottom. And I have all but one colored in, so that shows me 9/10. So 9/10 is slightly bigger than 4/5. Here are a couple more examples. Again, I have 4/5 over here for us to see. Our second one right here, again, I can count the number of spaces. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would be 12 total pieces. And I have everything except for one colored in. So 11/12 is greater than 4/5. I can do the same thing with the problem on the right. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces. And I have 14 colored in. So again, I can say 14/15 is greater than 4/5. Remember that this sign here is open to the bigger fraction, or it eats the bigger fraction. It's important for us to be able to find fractions that are equivalent fractions or fractions that are greater than or equal to each other so that we can start adding and figuring out how are we going to add fractions when we have two pieces that are different sizes. So I have a question for you that says Raven ate one piece of pizza from a personal-sized pizza cut into 6 equal parts. Later, she ate one more piece of pizza from a personal-sized pizza cut into 4 equal parts. How much more of one personal-sized pizza did she eat? My first picture here, I have what is represented by 1/6 of our rational number project fractions. That is a pink piece. 6 of those pink pieces fit into one entire circle, or in this case, one entire pizza. This represents 1/4, or a blue piece from our rational number project. So if I put those together, I have this fraction right here. I don't know what my answer is yet, but I can make an estimate. And I think some of you are going to guess 2/10 is the right answer, because if we look at our fractions, 1/4 plus 1/6 would make sense to say, well, 1 plus 1 is 2 and 4 plus 6 is 10. But I want to ask you, is that a reasonable answer? If I look at my fraction there, I can see 2/10 is pretty close to 0. If I have 10 pieces and I've only colored in 2, that's not very many. But my fraction here is more than, is almost half. So 2/10 is not a reasonable guess. Instead of just adding the top numbers and adding the bottom numbers, what I have to do is find equivalent fractions or fraction pieces that fit the same amount but are different numbers. So I've shown you this top fraction part here represents my 1/4 piece. I can see that 3 equal-sized red pieces fit into the same amount as that blue piece. I can see down here that 2 of those red pieces fit into an equal amount of those pink pieces. So what I can say now is that they're all the same size. I can say, well, all together, 3 of these red pieces plus 2 of these pieces would give me 5 pieces. If I were to count how many of those red pieces were to fit in the whole circle, I will find, once again, 12 of them fit. I can also write down here my fractions. So I have 3/12 plus 2/12 equals 5/12. Since they are all the same size piece, they're all representing the same size, I can now add them together. Here's another example for us to try. 1/3 plus 1/4. Once again, I've shown you my fraction over here, but what you might notice is at first you can estimate. So I know that my answer is going to be between 1/2 and a whole. So again, if I were to say 1/3 plus 1/4 equals 2/7, I know that 2 out of 7 is not even half, so that cannot be the right answer. Instead, once again, I have to find what pieces that are the same size fit equally into both my 1/3 piece and my 1/4 piece. I can do that by once again splitting them into the reds or the 12ths. I can see that 4 of those red pieces fit into my 1/3 piece, and 3 of those red pieces fit into my 1/4 piece. So what I can say is 4 and 3 is going to give me 7. And I know that 12 of those total pieces fit in, so my denominator, or my total number of pieces, would be 12, or 7/12. Let's take a look at 5/6 plus 1/3. In this situation, I had to do 2 separate fraction circles because I can tell that my answer is going to be greater than 1. If I were to try and put this 1/3 piece up here, I would run out of space. So I know already that it's going to be greater than 1 whole fraction circle. Just by looking at my pieces, I can tell that 2 of these pink pieces would be the same amount as 1 of these brown pieces. If I know that, I could say that this 1 brown piece is the same amount as 2 of those pink pieces. Knowing that, I would say I have 5 of those pieces plus 2 more of those pieces would give me 7 of those 1/6 pieces. And if I look at my answer here, I see that the 7 on the top is bigger than the denominator or the 6, so I know that means that I have more than 1. I could also rewrite it by saying, well, I know that 6/6 is the same as 1 whole circle, so my answer is going to be 1 and 1 extra piece, or 1 and 1/6. One last word problem for you. Miss Hale spent 1/2 of her total allowance on a movie and 1/4 of her total allowance on a candy bar. What fraction of her allowance did she spend in all? Once again, I have to find fractions that are equivalent because I can see right now that that 1/2 piece and that 1/4 piece are not representing the same amount. If I look at this picture over here, I can see, well, this 1/2 piece is the same amount as this piece, and this blue piece and this blue piece match. So if I know that those are showing the same amount, I can say, well, now I have 3 of those blue pieces, and I know 4 of them, if I include that one, would fit in my whole circle, so 3/4 has to be my answer. Hopefully this has helped you to add fractions that have a denominator or a bottom number that is different from the one you are adding, and you know how to find equivalent fractions to find the correct answer. Good luck!